Coming up on Night Chat, students got down to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network.
And meet your new SGA President and Vice President. Kate Zona and Jarrell Jones will be here to discuss plans for the next school year.
And a night in Orlando brings you some new food options right in your own backyard.
You're watching Nightly Chat, covering the UCF community and the greater Orlando area.
Night Chat starts now.
Good afternoon, Knights, and welcome to Night Chat. I'm Stephanie Muniz.
And I'm Robert Sutton. Today is Friday, April 3rd.
Students are still recovering from this year's record-breaking Night-thon, where they raised almost $700,000. Students danced for 20 hours straight to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Night-thon surpassed its $500,000 goal by almost $200,000. And AE5 team captain Rebecca Reichel raised over $3,000 on her own.
She's talking and walking and so interactive with us now. It's insane because she was a little baby when we first had her, so it feels very nice and rewarding to see them grow up because, you know, when I come back to visit in a few years, like, Lauren will be in elementary school.
In the last 4 years, UCF students have raised nearly $1.5 million. Rob, I don't know about you, but that is a whole lot of money, and I hope a lot of smiles in that hospital.
Oh yeah, great philanthropy here at UCF. Well, since 2001, a few Knights are recognized yearly by UCF deans, vice presidents, and President Hitt himself for their impact on the UCF campus. The Order of the Pegasus Award honors the top Knights who have made the most of their UCF experience.
It's kind of surreal, honestly.
The Order of Pegasus Award is known as the highest honor on campus, but it's not something you can just apply for.
Dr. Hitt wanted to create an award to showcase our best and brightest students that exemplified all aspects of the UCF creed.
This week, 19 students were knighted following a 4-month nomination and interview process. And for many of these scholars, it's a dream come true. Senior Shannon Payne reflects on her transition from a small-town Virginia girl to notable knight. She says getting involved is what made her college experience memorable.
To me, it was something that made me feel like I had made the most of my time at UCF, and it was something I had always kind of hoped I would get.
Payne was nominated by the Honors College. She hopes to inspire other students as she was motivated by past recipients. And another honoree says he feels the same way.
Sure. So any success, I believe, whether it's Order of Pegasus or other scholarships or awards, really don't count for very much in my opinion unless you're actually able to share it with someone else.
Here on this stage in the Pegasus Ballroom, the 19 recipients will receive their honor from Dr. Hitt, as well as other members from the selection committee. The students say stepping on stage before family and top UCF leaders is a memory they won't forget. Their picture will be displayed in the Order of Pegasus Lounge in the Union. And for students who desire to be one of the next faces on the Wall of Fame, Payne and Murdoch have some advice.
I have to just be the best version of you that you can be, and like, people will notice.
Don't do what anyone else tells you to do what you want to do, and you will be excellent at it and be able to leave your legacy as a UCF Knight.
In Orlando, De'Ara Bradley, UCF Nightly News.
Great to see some Knights shine. This year's recipients have an average GPA of 3.87, the highest of any class. And here at Night Chat, we have our own Order of the Pegasus recipient, weather reporter Jessica Gottslavin. She was awarded the honor last year. Well, the SGA presidential elections are finally over, and right now we're joined by your new SGA president and vice president, Kate Zona and Jarrell Jones. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
for having us.
So, how does it feel to be chosen by the student body?
It feels great. We're very overwhelmed and happy, but we're so excited to be here before you guys today.
Yeah, well, fantastic.
Perfect. And as you prepare for the school year, what's one of the things that you guys promised on your platform that you're going to start working on as soon as you can?
Definitely campus safety. So right before this, we actually met with Channel 9 News, and we'll be on at 5 and 6 p.m. just talking about different incidents and working with the police department and administration.
Can you give us an idea, what exactly do you hope to work on, specifically safety-wise?
Okay, well this Wednesday we're going to Day at the Capitol up in Tallahassee, so it's a collection of students that will go up and speak on behalf of different platform points that we wanted to accomplish, not as Jarrell and I, but just as student government this past year. So one of them is campus safety, and the student senate just passed a resolution last night in opposition to have the firearms on campus, and that's one main thing we're lobbying on behalf of.
Great, fantastic. Now, during your campaign, you ran on the slogan, "Unleash Your Legacy." How are you going to help students unleash their legacy? What does that look like?
Do you want to take this?
We definitely want to provide the extra services and events and resources that SGA can provide, and also the school can provide to them, so they can do great things like start up maybe their own registered student organization or move up wherever they're any position that they currently have. We want to make sure that they're taking advantage of what they are provided on a daily basis, so they can go above and beyond what they ever thought they could do.
A lot of resources here.
Definitely. And lastly, how do you guys plan on leaving your legacy here at UCF?
Something that I said to a lot of students when we were out there talking to them is we don't want to just do a one-year term. We want to make sure we're affecting Knights for generations and generations. So making sure we're doing a lot of lobbying, a lot of hands-on things, making sure we're getting more attendance to UCF. So making sure that we're keeping the numbers and just really improving as many students as possible and improving their campus lives.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kate and Jarrell, for being here with us.
Good luck in the upcoming school year.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, the reflecting pond is a UCF icon, but many students don't know the stories behind the pond. UCF archive records show... Well, one moment. UCF archive records show that by May 1970, it went from a muddy hole to the pond we see today. In 1973, President Nixon stood at the edge of these waters to address the graduating class. It was drained so that graduates could sit right in the pit. But by the 90s, the reflecting pond was made a sacred place, and no student dared to step foot in it. In 1994, an SGA president was accidentally pushed into the pond, and it started the tradition we know and love today, Spirit Splash. Wow. Well, speaking of spirits...
I've actually never been to a Spirit Splash before, Robert. Never have I ever.
Really?
And I'm almost graduating now, so that's going to be something else.
Oh, well, you know, it's great out there. The water's a little chilly, but on a hot day like today, it's perfect. Speaking of which, Jessica?
Weather's here.
Well, I have good news for you. It is the perfect day to be out at the reflecting pond. So after this newscast, I say we head out there. And if you're on campus, definitely leave the library and head out today. It's the perfect day to be outside. It's mostly sunny with a 0% chance of rain. It's currently 84 degrees with a south-southwest wind of 6 miles per hour. And the humidity is actually not too bad today at 46%. Overall, it's a beautiful day to be outdoors and a great way to start the holiday weekend. I'll have a more detailed forecast later on in the show.
Thank you, Jessica. Still ahead, we'll have your health tips you need to get ready for finals.
And are you looking to spice up your yoga session? Well, one UCF club is putting a twist on this Zen activity. Namaste with us.
Yeah.
Our way? Okay.
Final exams are less than a month away, and some students might find it hard to keep healthy habits around this time. And today in the studio, we have UCF's nutritionist Meredith Luce here to give us some tips on what to expect during finals week.
Well, it's very important that you consider snacking, but snacking is not something that you should just do without having put some thought into it. Okay, not all snacks are created equal. So what I did is I put a table together to give you some information based on things that typically students would consume. The night-thon just happened, and I had a couple of students that had to come to me and say, well, what am I going to eat every 2 hours because we're constantly moving?
I'm one of those,
so
I will admit.
I came up with a plan for them, but unfortunately they were limited as far as how much they could bring. Okay. But in any case, let's start over here. Here we have Belvita crackers. Now, Belvita has a lovely tagline that tells you that it's perfectly fine and it'll last sustained energy, but it really doesn't give you sustained energy unless you add something that has some protein in it.
Nice.
Here you'll see that you have grapes and cheese. Cheese is going to be your protein component. Here we have tuna and crackers. Nice, very convenient, travels easily. Tuna is your protein part, and then you have your carbohydrate. You always want to think in terms of always having the two together. Carbohydrates by themselves, like the 100-calorie packs that people can get, is just going to give you an instant energy. It's not going to be sustainable, so you want to have some protein in there. That's why I brought the yogurt, because as much as people think that yogurt is good for you, the Greek-style yogurt is the one that is better for you because of the protein content. So the protein is a lot higher, the sugar is lower, so there's a better ratio. Okay.
I see.
So if I was going to put an X on this one, I would just say no.
My favorite one. Okay, so I can eat this after or no?
No.
Probably the worst one to get.
That's like pudding. Okay. So something that is like the Chobani, a Greek-style yogurt, is what I would recommend. Now, sometimes the portion is what's the biggest issue. So sometimes you can get it already portioned out.
Wonderful.
So something like a trail mix.
I will honestly probably start trying this right now. But soon up, we're going to have continue with the healthy lifestyle. Acro-yoga is a combination of acrobatics, yoga, and dance. And nightly news reporter Lila Altoni got together with UCF's Yogi Club and found out that it's not as easy as it looks.
Acrobatic yoga is the latest trend sweeping the nation, but you don't have to go very far to get involved. In fact, I came out here with the UCF Yogis and they showed me a few of their favorite moves.
And they're a little trickier than they look. But these students make acro-yoga look good. UCF grad student Julia Baylor thinks everyone should get involved.
Come out to the jams, you know, it's super fun. We'll start you off slow with the basic stuff until you're confident enough to keep going.
They even convinced me to try it out. You gonna talk us through what we're about to do here?
Yeah, so we're gonna take you through some basic poses.
All right.
We're gonna start with bird.
Okay.
So it's like when you were a kid and did airplane. So you're gonna plank on him. Okay. He'll pick you up. Yep, straight arms. Awesome. You should be able to let go.
The UCF Yogis jam at Lake Eola every Sunday from 12 to 3. And they want to see you out there.
It's really fun. It's a great community of people, and we have people of all ages and abilities. Kick over.
Oh! Thank you guys so much.
That was awesome.
High fives.
Like a tough time, but a fun time out there. Tell us about it.
I mean, I was a little nervous at first, but once I got kind of started, they really helped me feel confident, kept my core tight. That's the really important thing. And actually, I ran into Robert while I was out there, and he did a good job, I'm not going to lie. But what did you think about it?
Me? Well, it takes more than you'd expect, but it's also a little easier than you'd expect. You're looking at these people, and it looks crazy, like I couldn't do that, but you know, a little balance, a little keeping that core tight, and look at me, I'm off the ground.
Are you ready to do some flips next, or?
Not yet.
Not flipping around?
I'll build up to it.
Build up to it? All right, I'll go with you.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, it's chow time, and you don't have to go far from home. A Night in Orlando will tell you where to get a bite close to campus.
And reporter Maria Laporta will give us some looks at some fun stories from around the nation. Stick with us. We're joined with Maria Laporta, who has stories from around the country.
Maria, what's making headlines?
Well, the creator of Pillsbury Doughboy passed away this Wednesday. Rudolph R. Purz died at 89 years old from natural causes at his home in Glenview, Illinois. Purz was the innovator of the iconic Doughboy that appeared in Pillsbury commercials and advertisements from 1965 until today. In an interview with Adweek, Purz said the Doughboy was originally animated and looked more like Casper the Friendly Ghost. He then developed the Doughboy into the three-dimensional character we know and love today. Amazon fans rejoice! Ordering online can be as easy as the push of one button. Amazon now has a dash button that can install in your home. It uses Wi-Fi to connect with your Amazon account. With a push of a button, customers can automatically buy items such as coffee, erasers, toilet paper, and trash bags so that you're always in stock with groceries and other necessities. Person in the world is having a party, and she has a very important guest to invite. Gertrude Weaver invited President Obama to her 117th birthday bash this upcoming July. The party will take place in Little Rock, Arkansas. The Gerontology Research Group named Weaver as the oldest person in the world this past week when Misao Okawa passed away at 117 years old. Stephanie, Robert, are you planning to invite the president to your birthday festivities?
Well, Maria, we might have to, honestly, because Robert and I found out earlier this semester that we have the same birthday.
Oh, yes. April 21st. Woo! All the way. So we're going to go out. You know what? We don't need the president to have a presidential posse.
We don't at all.
We go hard on our own. We're going to go out, get some drinks, go dancing a little, and maybe have some food. Okay. Speaking of which, this week a night in Orlando is bringing you more things to do, see, and enjoy around town. Reporter Arnold Godoy is taking you inside a few eateries that recently opened their doors just a few minutes from UCF.
Over the past few weeks, 3 very distinct restaurants have opened their doors here at Plaza on University, so I'm bringing you a look at what each location is offering. Up first, Bento Cafe. When you first walk into Bento Cafe, you see it has a very modern feel to it. The cultures in countries such as Japan and Taiwan have inspired the design. This is the 3rd Bento Cafe in the Central Florida area, the 2nd closest being in downtown Orlando. The Asian restaurant makes everything off its menu to order. Guests can get anything from rice bowls to sushi to dessert teas. The restaurant even has a beer and wine bar. Regional manager Jarrell Serrano told us one of the popular items on the menu is
the spicy cream bento box. It's one of our very popular items. It comes with rice, lo mein, ginger salad, string beans, and the entree. Spicy cream. Spicy cream is a breaded white meat chicken, and the sauce people love.
Now, if you're craving a burger, you're going to want to try the 2nd location on our list, BurgerFi. The restaurant was founded in 2011 right here in Florida. At BurgerFi, they promise a gourmet restaurant experience instead of just a regular burger joint. They pride themselves in serving food that is all natural. We spoke to cashier Renee Felt, and she says BurgerFi offers a very upbeat atmosphere, and then she told us about 2 must-try items.
Since we're on fries, I would suggest the Parmesan herb because those are really, really good. Burger-wise, I would do the breakfast all day burger. It sounds really weird, like breakfast items on a burger, but somehow, some way, they all come together, so that's good.
The last restaurant on our list has over 350 locations in Brazil, but the one here is the first in the U.S. This is Italian restaurant Spoleto. Spoleto offers guests culinary freedom. They can create their own dishes with over 30 ingredients to choose from. But if you'd rather play it safe, the menu does offer a number of chef's specials. President of the company's U.S. branch, John Velasquez, says their signature dish is...
Oh man, polpette grande. We create a 5-ounce house-made meatball that we make it from 3 different types of beefs. We put with our own breadcrumbs, we put our own seasoning in it. It's made in-house every day.
A night in Orlando, Arnold Godoy, UCF Nightly News.
Plaza still has several unfilled storefronts, but for those hungry for another new restaurant, Blaze Pizza will be opening their doors very soon. Well, I don't know about you, Stephanie, but I'm hungry.
I know, I couldn't wait. I think I honestly might take a little stroll down to Plaza myself.
Ooh, sounds good, and the weather should be nice out there. Speaking of which, Jessica Gotsleben has our full forecast. Jessica, how's it look?
Well, Steph and Rob, the weather is looking beautiful. So whether you're getting ready to start your holiday weekend, maybe you're having that outside birthday party, or in Rob's case, some yoga outside, it's going to look amazing. Looking at the state temperatures, we're in the 80s throughout the entire state. Beautiful 84 degrees here in Orlando, and the entire state, even down to Miami's got that same lovely sunny temperature. Now we're going to take a look at our next map. We have a high pressure system down here. You can notice this in Florida, but good news for us, we do have a low pressure system coming in. So if you'll notice, we're going to get a little bit more precipitation, but we're still good for the weekend. Got some dryness, great sunny weather. We're good up until Sunday. We're going to take a look at our weather map specifically for travel. Now, if you are having travel plans and you're in Florida, you're still great, good to go, sunny weather. But if you are traveling up to this area to see family, there is some precipitation. Shouldn't risk anything if you're on the roads, but some travel plans with flights may be delayed. Now we're going to take a look at our 5-day forecast. Still beautiful weather for Saturday. We're going to have that 0% chance of rain, still sunny, but like I said, that low front is going to be bringing in a little bit of higher temperatures, some higher precipitation. So make sure you get those Easter egg hunts done early, because Sunday there will be some evening showers, a little bit more precipitation throughout the week, but still going to look beautiful. Make sure you have your umbrellas with you. Get outside today, tomorrow, start the holiday weekend off right, or check out the reflecting pond. Back to Steph and Rob.
Well, thanks, Jessica. When we come back, Melissa Murray will have our sports update.
And we'll take a look at the brackets and the March Madness Final Four. Stay with us.
What the hell am I doing now?
Hey Knights fans, I'm Melissa Murray and here's your weekly sports update. March Madness is in full swing. We're down to the Final Four and fans will have all eyes on the court tomorrow night. #1 overall seed Kentucky escaped Notre Dame last week to move on. Wisconsin pulled off a win against Arizona, and the Duke Blue Devils rallied against the Gonzaga Bulldogs for a win on Sunday. But some are calling Michigan State the Cinderella story of the tournament. The #7 seed came out on top versus Louisville, putting them in the Final Four. So with tomorrow's games in almost 24 hours, a lot of students on campus say they're excited to see the Final Four games this weekend. And according to 538.com, Kentucky has a 69% chance of moving on to the championship. 57.5% of people that made a bracket on CBSSports.com picked them to win it all. They have the most efficient defense of the tournament, but Wisconsin has the most efficient offense, scoring 130 points on 100 possessions. And don't sleep on Duke and Michigan State. Their coaches have the most combined wins in tournament matchup history. Michigan State plays Duke at 6:09 tomorrow night, and Wisconsin will take on Kentucky at 8:49. Construction is now underway at the new on-campus study area for student athletes. The Wayne Dench Center for Student Athlete Leadership will be located right next to Bright House Network Stadium. Athletes can take advantage of a computer lab, tutoring, and study spaces. The building is expected to open on January 11th. And Orlando City Soccer did not take April Fool's Day lightly. Last year, the team announced they changed its name to the Manatees. A year later, they're pranking fans again. The team posted this picture on its website Wednesday. This year's joke, they're installing a purple pitch or field for tonight's game. The Lions even got me on this one. Apparently, the turf will still be green, but maybe dyeing it purple is something to consider. That's all the time we have for sports. Stephanie and Robert, back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. That's all the time we have for now. We want to thank you for joining us.
And don't forget to check us out online on our website, nightlynews.ucf.edu. Until then, have a wonderful weekend.